Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rio Rizki Ramadhan. I'm from class 4H from English Education Department. So in this occasion, I'm gonna tell you about Japanophilia or a Weeaboo. This is for my final test in extensive reading subject. So without further ado, let's start. I'm gonna split into some points. So the first is we start with the origin of the word Japanophilia or Weeaboo. The term Japanophile traces back to the late 18th and early 19th centuries, which was before Japan became more open to foreign trade. Carl Peter Thunberg and Philip Franz von Silbold helped introduce Japanese flora, artworks, and other objects to Europe, which spiked interest. Lafcadio Heim, an Irish-Greek author who made his home in Japan in the 19th century, was described as a confirmed Japanophile by Charles E. Turtle Company in their forewords to several of his books. Others may include Jules Brunet, a French army officer who played a famous role in the Japanese Ocean War. So we move to the 20th century. In the first decade of 20th century, several British writers lauded Japan. In 1904, for example, Beatrice Webb wrote that Japan was a rising star of human self-control and enlightenment, praising the innovating collectivism of the Japanese and the uncanny purposefulness and open-mindedness of its enlightened professional elite. H.G. Wells similarly named the elite of his a modern utopia samurai. In part, this was a result of the decline of British industrial productivity, with Japan and Germany rising comparatively. Germany was seen as a threat and a rival power, but Japan was seen as a potential ally. The British saw efficiency as the solution to issues of productivity, and after the publication of Alfred State's 1906 book, Great Japan, a study of a national efficiency, pundits in Britain looked to Japan for lessons. This interest, however, ended after World War I. General Jose Millan Astray, the founder of the Spanish Legion, stated that the samurai warrior code Bushido exerted a great influence on him. Divining Bushido as a perfect creed, Millan Astray said the Spanish legionnaire is also a samurai and practices the Bushido essentials: honor, failure, loyalty, generosity, and sacrifice, and added that Spain would become a great power like Japan by adhering to code's principles. He also made Spanish translation of Inazo Nitobe's book, Bushido, Soul of Japan, and prologue to it. So we moved to the next point, to the modern era or 21st century. In the early 2000s, derogatory slang terms were created to refer to people who are obsessed with Japanese popular culture. The term Japanese, from white Japanese or possibly also wannabe Japanese, first emerged in 2002 as a derogatory term for a non-Japanese, particularly white, person who is obsessed with Japanese culture, particularly anime and manga. The term Weeaboo, later shortened to Weeb, W-E-E-B, came from the webcomic The Peri-Bible Fellowship, in which the word had no meaning other than something unpleasant. According to an unpublished Master of Arts thesis, An administrator of 4chan added a filter on the site to change Japanese to Weeaboo, but users on the site quickly picked up the word and applied it in an abusive way in place of the already existing term Japanese. A shortened version of the term weeb has also been increased usage on the internet in recent years, usually referring to people who are fans of aspects of Japanese pop culture such as anime, visual novels, manga and light novels, and music and drama. The terms weeaboo and weeb, while originally derogatory, have also been reclaimed by those to whom they originally referred, seeing increased usage by fans of Japanese media to revert to himself in an ironic or self-deprecating fashion. Kim Morrissey of the media company Crunchyroll wrote that the use of the word otaku, person with consuming interest, in anime fandom can be hindered by the belief of some Westerners that its use constitutes cultural appropriation and that it can only refer to a Japanese person. In a blog post on Anime News Network, Justin Savakis argued that there is a difference between a weeaboo and someone who simply appreciates Japanese culture, saying that there is nothing wrong with loving Japanese culture, but that a person becomes a weeaboo when they start to be obnoxious, immature, and ignorant to the culture they love. Machardin with the Alaska Dispatch gave his opinion that weeboos blindly prefer things from Japan, while looking down on anything else, despite obvious merit. The term was also famously used by Japanese YouTuber Filthy Prank in a video titled Weeboos, a satirical rant about weeboos, in which he also claimed in character that a person can appreciate Japanese culture without being a weeboo, and that weeboos blindly believe that anything of Japanese origin is superior simply because it is Japanese. So that's all from me. I'm sorry if there are many mistakes, and once again, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.